on this project. So distinguished ladies and gentlemen, prospective partners on this project, I welcome you all. I welcome you all on behalf of the Sustainable Development community. And my name is Ayo Adeyemi. Okay, you can call me Ambassador Ayo Adeyemi. Interesting. Okay, so that's what the assignment has, demanded of me. And it feels so great and good that this opportunity had come to us, and not just me. And perhaps I think this has come to be as a result of my involvement and your vote. Anyway, quite a number of you remember that I competed in the Global Mentor of the Year, vote, and then emerged ultimately from Africa, and then as the global award, which award was presented in Netherlands in October 2022. And afterwards, I think this organization has also followed up on some other few things, and they had approached me that they want me to be one of the ambassadors, in fact, for Nigeria on this project. So it's a separate entity actually, but of course, yes, it does happen that they also have followed up and made their decisions to have appointed me to be one of the ambassadors on the sustainable development. And this is strongly backed up by the government of the Netherlands, and they got a lot of things for this project. Today, I'll be doing all the talks as regards the project, then I will take your questions. But after now, the partners or the program sponsor from Netherlands will then engage us. That won't be today, but I will communicate that to us. And that will also happen after we have divided ourselves into the different area of focus. So let me first of all appreciate everyone. Almost everybody here right now, I think I know I've had one contact or the other with. And the honest to be that quite a number of us are already in that path. We are doing something along the SDG or ESG path. So it's not really new, but of course, this idea from Netherlands may just be what it is all about, that we want to get to know and see how we can work with them. I see a lot of opportunity, especially after my engagement, interactions with them, briefing, and then the assignment definition. Okay, so I saw a lot of opportunity. And then in my usual self, I like to also throw it open. Naturally, one would like be more selfish and like, let me just choose my friends. But of course, I have too many life friends. And it wasn't only my friend that voted for me anyway. And everyone that voted for me are friends. So then who are really my friends? Everybody. So everyone there right now, I think you are my either boss, colleague, associate, or family member. So everybody has got the opportunity. And for as many people really that can come on board, I think they have that capacity for us to work together as a team. So I'll just go into it, and let me play a video from the managing director of that particular initiative from the Office of Ministry of Foreign Affairs from Netherlands. And then I know I've posted it several, but I just wanted to listen to it again. All right, so for the last time, and then we will then form our talking point from there, and then we'll be able to share some few more things. So please let me quickly share that, and then we can also get going on this part. Okay.
Also known as RVO. My name is André van Ommeren, and I'm Managing Director of the International Development Department at the Netherlands Enterprise Agency, also known as RVO. I would like to take this opportunity to personally invite you for the exclusive Partners in Sustainable Development community to increase our impact together. Yes, we choose you to be part of this community because we see you as a partner in sustainable development. We invite you because you are part of a partnership or program in cooperation with RVO, with the aim to accelerate sustainable development in developing countries. And your connections, experience, and knowledge is extremely valuable to us and to others. This is an exclusive community for entrepreneurs, NGOs, knowledge institutes, and government organizations who all have the same goal, working together to increase our impact in developing countries. This is the place to be. Learn from each other and gain new knowledge. Connect with other members, expand your network, and find future partnerships. And ask questions and share your dilemmas. Because only together we are able to accelerate more impact on the SDGs in developing countries. Do you want to be part of this? Become a member of the Partners in Sustainable Development Community LinkedIn group and join our community. This community is a professional and safe place. This means that we treat each other with respect and in a positive manner. This is an initiative of the Netherlands Enterprise Agency in cooperation with the Netherlands Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
All right, so that's what's it. That is all about it. But more importantly, I will emphasize the aspect of partnership, and then the aspect of my own assignment as an ambassador. Okay, so my assignment is to be able to put a team together for Nigeria, essentially, and see how we can then work along the area, the focus area. Of course, the focus area of the SCG, which is also known to many of us, and that is water, environment, and so on and so forth. I've shared that too on our platform. Okay, and then define what you have done, what you are doing, and what you intend to do along those various paths. Okay, so and how that is contributing to the ultimate objective of the Netherlands focus, all right, which is a global thing. I mean, the SDG is a global thing for us. It's an area of concern for us, and it's a lot to do with the ultimately achieving the clean climate and so I mean saving the mother earth and all that it is. Okay, so personally, I've been involved, of course, through different avenues. And of recent, the area that I called my attention or that I've been more involved is the area of knowledge. I've been able to train with the back of industry, some organization on the SDG, especially when it comes to aspect of investment. Of course, back of industry does with investment. So I'll be able to share knowledge on what I call impact investment. Okay, so why should the bank give money? Where should they focus? Where should they place their priority when they're going to give organizations money? For as many organizations that need funds, that become a deliberate or intentional program for them. That look, if you have a project or you have a business that are aligned and identified with the SDG, then they'll be willing to sponsor or give you funds. It has gone to that, and that was part of the training I was part of. Of course, I was invited. I'm sure he's not here. Professor Ajayi invited me, and then I'll be able to do that with them for some organization. And essentially, we're trying to look at why should we give you funds? If you are not identifying with any of the SDG, then why should the bank give you funds? And that is what I see so many other organizations across the world doing now. So for all of us that need funds, that require funds, why should you get funds? So now if you are pitching for any business idea, any project, they want to see a clear definition of your contribution towards the SDG or identifying with the SDG. Okay, so that is where I have pitched my tent. And that's what I want to do more. Talk to businesses on what we call impact investment. Okay, speak through people, help businesses to also be able to develop that kind of concept into your own whole idea. Right, and that's what might interest me. But more beyond that, of course, as a member of Rotary Club also identified with a lot of part of the SDG. Maybe they may not be clearly stated that these are SDG, but some of the area of focus of Rotary and worldwide identify with that. Okay, so some of us, like I said, have been doing that through different organizations. Okay, but right now we are trying to build, I mean, like you have listened to him, either through your social group, individually, through your business, how much of identification or impact are you having when you synchronize with the SDG? And that is what intends to be achieved. All right. So I don't want to take much of a time, like I said, that is what we tend to achieve. But then in later day, for those of us that are registered and identify area of interest, then we will now break it down into what you then need to do, how we will go about it, and what are the things that are also involved. Now, I will also close by saying that I know many people have asked me, what is the benefit, what is the benefit, what is the benefit? Of course, some of the documents I've shared or information I've shared has talked about the benefits. But I know people are expecting me to talk about whether there's any financial benefit to it. I won't get to that. But if questions come around that, I will also answer that, but I won't get to that. But I can tell you it's a very laudable project and it opens a lot of opportunity globally. More importantly, this is an initiative from European organization, government, anyway, and it's what we have been doing in Nigeria. And this particular initiative also in talks with the federal government of Nigeria. And I know that in coming days, there will be some serious talks around it. But right now, I have the responsibility to work with teams, with people that I also believe in this and want to identify with this. And that is what we are trying to start. So this is the first engagement, like I said. Furthermore, we will then work with people based on area of focus. Now, let me say this. There's also a general part of perhaps you don't want to be pegged to a particular area. You want to work generally on different area. Okay, so there will be talks around that area in the later days. So, so I will open the mic and then you can just signify if you have an expert. But let me say this before I close. There's, like I said, the general part, I'm going to build a team of trainers, okay? Because from the form, some of us are few, some are not too knowledgeable or don't have enough information when it comes to about SDGs. So we tend to do that. We tend to do that. In fact, it's gotten to the point that we have, what I also do, part of what I do, where I work, we do recruitment. And we have companies now that are seriously looking for experts, professionals. I have a role right now that I've been working with for the last 3 months, struggling to close it. And the salary is, I think it's about 25 million or plus to close a role for SDG, is it manager now or director for a new company, and it's been tough getting one because it appears it's not an area that has been common. We have what we call CSR. Now, this is different from CSR. Even though you part of your role, we still have to deal with CSR, all right? But corporate communication, but this is unique. And so I'm letting you know for those that are career-minded people, it's also a whole lot of opportunity when it comes to career, focus and what have you. So, so if you have questions, you can just raise your hand and then we can get to it, all the way. Okay, so raise your hand, I will mute you and then we can get to it. Because if I put it up or mute everybody, it will be crisis or there. So, question or contributions towards this? I want to believe you can hear me. I'm waiting to see hands raised. I'm waiting to see a question in the chat room or something. Yeah, I think so. No, I don't. Okay. Madam Usola, go ahead. Unmute yourself.
Okay, good evening. Thanks very much. Can you hear me?
Very well, very well.
Yes.
Very well.
Can you hear me? I'm unmuted.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead. Yeah.
Good evening, everyone, and good evening, so what is success going to look like for this initiative? What's the picture of success? I'm trying to understand the vision of what you're trying to achieve here and what will success look like, assuming we've done what it is that has been specified in the mandate by, is it ROV, Netherlands?
Yeah. Okay, so
thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. So what success looks like, and perhaps we'll say, if you want to put it in another way, maybe what is the key performance for us, as it were, essentially globally. The intention is to see how we can achieve, the SDG or sustainability of the entire, global space or countries. For instance, I would want to say this. I remember of recent, the President Mohamed Buhari said something that Africa is not the most dangerous planet. That's when it comes to climate change or SDG issue. The European and then the Western world seems to be doing more havoc than the African, but they place everything on Africa. Now, that being said, even if Africa is not the most worst places where the contribution to climate change and the challenges of the SDG are not being promoted, but the fact is that we want a very safe environment for ourselves. Okay, as a nation, we want a very safe environment. Now, much as it has been more of talk and less action, or the intentionality or consciousness in terms of deliverables. All right, in terms of right now, for some of us, I'm actually speaking to us from Canada. Okay, I'm here to do some findings and some research and some developmental program for myself. But I realize that in America now, most organizations or even shopping mall will not give you what we call nylon bag. They don't give you again. They expect you to come with your bag. Okay, so those are some of the intention, initiatives that come to businesses now. But here in Canada, they still give it to you. They still give it to you, but you pay for it. So when you have had to pay for it, what that means is that next time, now, I have a particular situation for me. I was going to buy something in the grocery store, and I forgot the one I had in my bag. Okay, and I had to buy another one. So it was so painful that I had to buy it. I got back to my life. I'm having too many of these. But right now in Nigeria, we buy or we get it almost free, and then we discard it, just throw it away anyhow. So some of these things, then we get to the point that when we have more like, when you call it volunteer or soldiers, all right, they're not more, the sensitization, all right, because what the result will look like is it will obviously bring down and lower the implication when it comes to our environment, okay? One of the things that caused flooding for us in our various environment in Nigeria is not because we don't have enough drainage as it were, but because those drainage have been, dumped with a lot of things that have caused a lot of more havoc, okay, over time. Okay, so imagine now you pick a community, and then you are able to sensitize people about that community because of the things that need to be achieved. You are able to work with more other agencies, more businesses, organizations to be able to educate, and then a kind of supervision. Okay, so what that means is that the impact of what you are doing will be felt in that environment because you can't be everywhere. And that's where we are bringing on board a whole lot of more people. All right, we are going to focus on certain area. All right, I said to you, I'm focusing on the knowledge aspect. I'm going to be doing more of training, working, especially when it comes to investment. Now I'm going to be talking to more financial organizations. Why should not give you loan if you are not identified? Because your business begin to think along that path. If whatever you are doing now, your contribution, you are contributing to, to some of the havoc, of the environmental havoc, then we now need to begin to look at it that we will not give you more fund. So these are some of the things that will become a result. So your business will be forced to begin to factor in the SDG in your daily operations. So these are that kind of things that are going to be like report. But again, like I said, we can narrow it down to, okay, the specific as to 1, 2, 3, 4 key performance indicators for each of those categories and for people that will be working with us ultimately. But what we could look like is we're going to have lesser damages to our environment. We're going to see more conscientizations of people, more knowledge about it, more involvement, and people are being more intentional. All right, it's not only just littering the environment. It's more about the implication. Okay, so when you think about the implication, it will lessen what you do. I was part of a conference last year in Egypt, And then it has to do with companies that are into packaging. Okay, so we begin to look at a lot of packaging. So as part of identifying with the SDGs, because these are also the issues, the recycling. Okay, again, I have a client now that they are setting up a recycling firm in Ikorodu. And these are some of the things that are being identified. We are looking for some people to work with them now because of this consciousness. So a lot more of things are, are going to be unbundled. Let me put it that way. All right. So I hope I'm able to narrow it down to your expectation. Okay. So okay, Said Abiola, I will mute you. Sorry, Madam Busola, I hope that clarifies your question, please. Okay, so Said, you can go unmute yourself and go ahead. Yes, you.
Okay. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Said Abiola. Thank you for this gathering. It's just a follow-up to what my sister asked some minutes ago that has to do with how do we measure the effectiveness of this. And when you started, you spoke about the issue of the impact assessment. And luckily for me, I was able to be part of a team that brought the issue that that wanted to do something for an institution in Osun State then. And I remember they had to do an impact assessment. But furthermore to do what she just asked, I just want us to understand that there are times that when they give us things, we should be able to get back to them on what is reality on ground. And the reality on ground, just like what you said, the Western world are the major corporates, no matter how they paint it or how they put it out. So it will be good that whenever we're bringing things down to us, we should also let them understand that if, as the giver, you are able to clean what you're doing, the taker would always be ready to take from you. You take, for instance, the issue of this nylon. Fine, US is doing his own part in terms of you paying for whatever, but I've not seen any organization in the whole of the UK that doesn't have, everywhere you go, you still see the nylon. Even in their season, now they are going back to a lot of things that they said should not be used again, talking about the coal and all those things. So I believe that whenever we're having this discussion, one of them should be around so that they can also join while we ask some salient question. So my contribution today is just for us to know that fine, it is a personal thing. We all need to change, but the change begins with them. That's my own contribution this evening. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. Like you have mentioned, and like I've also stated, if you are going to assess the impact or the damages in terms of what has experienced globally from country to country, we might say Africa as a continent has not done more damages. But again, we agree with me that in Nigeria, for example, we battle with a lot of challenges, especially when it comes to aspects of environmental degradation. So we then need to look at inward. So now they are not going to come down and start supervising this for us. And that is why they have said, okay, let us work with people. Okay. And see, you are the people that live in that locality. You are the one that works there, that you want that hands there. Okay. So let's work with you and see how much of support. Okay. So while they are facing their own crises and their own challenges, let us also see what we can do. All right. In our own environment. And that's why we are localizing this idea and approach. Okay. And it's a support, like I said, it's a support. And just that they want to see how they can work with us, help us to achieve so much within our own locality. And that's what it is. But again, for your suggestion as to this to be around, I can assure you, like I said, this is my first engagement. And now we're going to have to scrutinize or those that are still want to go further with us. And then we are going to, it's a stage to get the point where then we go to meet with some of other things that will not take us on specific and some other things that will come to actualization of the whole project. So this is just the first first leg to it, as other legs on. All right, so let's take more questions. Joel Afolayan, you can unmute yourself and speak. Joel, are you there? Okay, so if he's not there, you can take Taiwo or Lukume.
Hello.
Okay, Joel, you can go ahead.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead. We can hear you.
I want to appreciate the initiative prospective partners. I just want to many years back before the introduction of the SDG in the heart of southern Nigeria.
Your network, I think, is out. So let's have Taiwo. Maybe when he's back, continue. Taiwo, you can unmute yourself.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Good evening. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for this opportunity. I quite agree with everybody that have spoken earlier, and I wanted to add this to it. Most of this SDG or this platform they brings into Africa will not work unless you put it into African perspective. Because mostly you see those things are easy, they can easily put it in Europe and you see it moving and gradually works well with them. But if you don't put African content or Nigerian content and look into it, how we can relate it to what we have on ground, how our people will be able to adapt themselves into accepting that support, it will be a big failure at the end of the day. I have an issue within my neighborhood. People keep on dredging the gutter to take sand to fill their different houses. They say it's sand being brought by rainfall. And I keep on telling them, you are digging this deep. At the end of the day, it's going to affect, when there is heavy downpour, it's going to rush to the dismantle the whole road and make the road not passable for everybody. But if you don't bring that idea to them to see, let them see it on a platform that this is the real thing, this is how it's going to affect me. Just bring in an idea and you want them to inculcate it into their system on a daily basis. It will be a disaster at the end of the day. My submission in all is whatever program, whatever idea, we need to look into Nigeria context. Who, as a Nigerian, how do we think? How can this work with us? Where can we, what are those other things that we can infuse in it that is not from Europe that will make it work and serve for the betterment of everybody? Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, that's exactly what we are going to do because, again, like I said, I'm appointed as an ambassador to work with our people in Nigeria. Okay, so and whatever it is we are doing, we are going to localize it. Like I said again, it's not going to be, okay, go and do it this way. No. How can we do it? And even when we talk about Nigeria, we then need to talk about different locations because you know that even as a country, we have different challenges based on our locality. So we're going to localize our solution. Okay, we're going to look at the reality of the environment, the community that you have decided to work with, and then develop the concept of achieving that result based on that location. So it's not going to be like, this is the template you should work with. No. This time around, it's going to be based on what you feel will work and will get results. More importantly, like I said earlier, the federal government is being carried along, and that I can tell you pretty much. And because some of these things too may have to be some element of legislation around it, all right? Some have to be some element of enforcement with the help of the government agencies, okay? We are going to be more of like advocates and solution providers to those locality to see, like what you talk about dredging. I mean, if we go there and talk from today to tomorrow, they won't get anything done. Even I've experienced some that even when you take police there, you won't get any results because they will tell you some people have given them approval. So if a government give an approval for a dredging in one location, now not minding the implication, then people of that community need to be enlightened. Now, because the implication may not be in 1 year, maybe 5 years. Okay, so if they are enlightened, and then we can then be able to walk them through the process or be able to let the government know, we can advocate for some legislation. Okay, all right, that's what it can get to. So these are the issues. I mean, imagine if there's a legislation that says if you get any bottle of or pet bottle of Coca-Cola on the street of Lagos, then Coca-Cola will be paying for it. Some of these are existing because I know Coca-Cola has a kind of a joint venture with some local people that they tell them to go and be picking their bottle on the way and they bring it back. And because they actually have a recycling plant, Coca-Cola has one. They have a dump here in Ikoyi where they take it from there. So that's what is happening. And some of these are happening now. So that's the extent we are going. What works for us? What works for us is what's going to be ultimate, guiding principle and approach to solving the problem based on our community that we have decided to, to work with eventually, and also based on what area. There are some areas that they are having challenges of water. Okay, so what can be done? I mean, I tell you, even in Lagos, there are some areas that even if you dig borehole to tomorrow, you will not get the good water. All you get is still bad water. So if everybody start digging borehole, then you can imagine the implication of that in another few years. Okay, same thing in the Lekki VI assets. Okay, it's a prime area, but some people don't know what we are doing by digging in some of those areas, including sewage. So these are the things that are going to form a lot of talking point, as we get going. All right. So do I see more people that want to contribute or need clarification? Please, as many people that can do this, we will be able to take so that we can then shut down in another 22 or 21 minutes. Any other area need for clarification? Again, I'm going to advise, if you have not filled that form, please do so, because we will be able to, from here moving on, categorize the interests of everybody, and then we will be discussing about some of those things. But some of the operational strategy or idea I have evolved is that we're going to go as low as to the level of the secondary school, okay, because education, knowledge is very important. From that level, I mean, of course, if I remember my younger days too, just lower level of education, we also throw things around. Even when they beat you that you should not litter the environment, but sometimes you forget your sweet wrapper, you still throw it away because nobody tells you ultimate implication. You talk, the only implication is that you will be punished. It's just not for littering, but it's much more than littering the environment. Okay, so these are some of the things we need to build, like some kind of association where they need to give themselves those encouragement and then do all of that, and then there will be some level of including market women sensitizations, what they need to know and do, and all of those things, going forward. All right. So, so any other contribution, please, and then we can call it a day. Okay. I want to believe we'll be able to at least have the introduction. Like I said, this is the first leg to it, and this is the introductory part. And then I will communicate to us before, maybe by tomorrow, possibly, the next section where we're going to be having some of the representatives from the Netherlands, and then we're going to speak to something. Now, let me say this. Of course, there's going to be some funny element to this project. Okay, of course, and as many people that might show the interest, we will not be able to bring everybody on board immediately. Okay, for especially as the front runners. Okay, then from the front runners, we can cascade down to other support group. But of course, it's something that is going to be very detailed and clearly defined. There won't be any misconception or misrepresentation. Okay, the results, the result evidence will be very detailed that everybody can run with, as many people that show interest. Okay, so because you can also actually achieve this without element of some funding And then like the organization, I'm more involved. Rotary, we know what to spend to do some of those achieve some of those projects we do, which also are actually a part of SDGs. But we do it as a support to communities. We've been doing it for a long time. So I can tell you, if you ask me how much it is that you require to get a ball, I can tell you because we've done it over and over and over and again. All right. So these are some of the things that we want to achieve. And it's pan-Nigeria, all right? It's not Lagos thing, it's not Abuja thing, it's pan-Nigeria. So I also request for as many people that we feel you've had this civil society, NGOs, we want to work with them as corporate organizations, where individuals, corporate businesses, people that we want to identify with, and we'll get there. So the first leg is join the platform. That platform will still be there. Even if we get filled up, we'll create the second platform too. And then from there, fill the form. All right. Then we will have that conversation of possibly, I won't say interview, but a kind of more clarity in terms of what it is we can do together. And then we'll move it forward from there. So that is pretty much what it is today. And I also know I have good resource people in the house that can facilitate on this. So I'm going to call on you after now. We'll have a different platform for that. And let me say to those of us that can facilitate, of course, this is going to bring money for us because I was paid when I facilitated on this. And then it comes in different dimensions, I can tell you that. So for those of us that can do that, of course, we will hand our fund for facilitation. I mean, facilitation to Nigerian organizations. I'm not saying to Netherlands now, all right? So, but it's something that all of us need to. So today, I've not spoken about any of the area of SDG, and I'm not talking about, training about it. I'm just giving you a broad view perspective, knowledge, information about what it is all about, what we want to achieve, and what Netherlands is looking at working with us. So when they come next time, they will give us a whole lot of more insight as to how they want to work with us, and we will get the desired result. So that is it for now. If there's no any other question, let me say thank you so much. David, okay, let's quickly take you in one bit, and then we close for the day. So we close.
Okay, good evening, Dr. Adeyemi, and everyone on this platform. So happy to be here. Being a student of SDG myself, my master program is actually on SDG. So I'm so happy seeing something like this happening.
Yeah.
And something we can push to help this society. Why going through the form and why hearing from you?
Yeah.
I could see we talked more about sustainable cities and all that, but part of the focus area, I couldn't see any thing that talks about sustainable city, basically beyond the renewable food and all that. But part of the sustainable area of sustainable city is housing, provision of housing and all that. So I don't know if that is inclusive, something we can actually work on. I think that's that for now. Thank you.
Okay, all right. So the sustainable development goals, or I'm not sure it has anything to do with,
It's not a shop, it's not a thing.
It doesn't have anything to do with building city or building houses. Okay.
Two people will still pay.
But what is the interest? The interest is that in that aspect, maybe the materials that are used, okay, in the constructions, the implication on the environment, and then in terms of other items too. I mean, right now in Nigeria, to a great extent, I know some environment are already doing that. We don't separate our disposables. All right, it's part of the things that we bring to the table. Loma comes to your locality, they just carry everything together. Even those that separate them, Loma come and carry everything together. So these are challenges. These are some of the things we need to begin. So when the recycling is going to be done, because I'm not too sure there's a strong legislation as to recycling. So these are some of the advocacy we are going to do. And then we'll be supported by the necessary organization. So imagine we bringing together all those NGOs, civic society. I'm not even sure that we have a strong civil society that speaks basically to the SDG. I'm not sure. All right. So what I feel I've seen is that we all work, like even Rotary, we don't go around talking about we just do projects. We just solve the problem. But there must be an organization that will speak to it. All right. That like people fight for labor salary, they fight for this. There must be organizations that speak to the government based on this. All right. So imagine there's a legislation that say we should start separating our refuse, our disposables. Then you can imagine that then that journey begins. Okay, because from your home, you have separated the organic one, you have separated the recyclable one, you have separated, then you can see more businesses spring up and there will be job. There will be job. Okay, because that's what's going to happen ultimately. So, like I said, this is just the basic launch engagement, just to clarify some few things. When we get into the heart of it, we will get more about it, and then we will take it up from there. But at least by the time we tidy up, our engagement will be once a month, because we expect to do some things at the local level. Our general engagement will be once a month. But please just try and ensure you fill the form. Let's have your basic information, and then we can be able to engage you further from there. Thank you so much. I think we call it quits right now. I want to appreciate everybody. I can see a lot of people here. And then let's get the conversation out there, let's get the message out there, and let's get set. Once we call on you, let's just be involved. All right. So thank you and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye for now.